Now, before I get into this video, I do want to say this. I enjoy MW2. I think it's a fun game. It's great. And everything I'm about to say is because I want what's best for the game. I want what's best for gaming in general. I want games to be fun, good, and get the attention they deserve for the right reasons. But with that being said, one thing that really frustrates me about MW2 and just the COD franchise in general is the fact that it's now being advertised as a live service game. Now, live service games can work. They can work really well. I think Fortnite is a great example of a live service game. But what they do different to the Call of Duty franchise is they were a new IP. They were a brand new IP. Nothing to fall back on from previous iterations. Call of Duty, on the other hand, is a franchise that has been out for over a decade. And each year, there is a new iteration on this. With each new iteration, there will be features that are generally accepted by the community and those that play the game as standard or expected features of the game. And to be honest, expected just in any first-person shooter game or multiplayer game. So with that being said, MW2 has been really disappointing for being a fully fledged out finished game. It is missing a lot of features. I think probably the most features in a Call of Duty game in recent history. Right off the bat, there is no battle record. One of the most simple thing, not simple, I understand that there is a lot of effort that goes into the back end of these systems, don't get me wrong, but there is the simple thing of having your stats visible, your kill death ratio, your win loss, your favorite weapon, your play time, stuff like that. Like, it exists in the back end. It has to, because Warzone just made a post where you could literally check all your stats through the course of Warzone since it first released. Why isn't this in Modern Warfare 2? There is also no theatre mode. Now, this is kind of cool, useful for just normal players if they want to see where they died from or what someone was doing. It's great. But for content creators and montage makers and editors, theatre mode is amazing. You can do so much with it and it is so useful. So to not have that, and we haven't had that in recent CODs in, I want to say 3-4 years now minimum, it'd be nice to have it back. Theatre mode is useful. And again, I understand that these systems take effort. They're not just click theatre mode button to add, but stuff like that you'd expect to be in the game. Also, no hardcore at launch. Where the fuck was that? Now, there's talk that it was causing crashes or performance issues and stuff like that, so they get at it in Season 1. But this harkens back to giving us a fully finished game. Performance has also been rather atrocious on MW2. Like, it's getting there with a couple of NVIDIA patches and stuff, but as a PC player, I had to roll back my drivers, I had to roll forward my drivers, I then had to specifically pick a certain driver that I don't think was even available through the GeForce experience at the time to get the most out of COD. And that is just frustrating. And this is for someone that's happy to jump through hoops to enjoy the game that I'm playing. But to the casual player, when they see a flickering screen or don't really keep up with drivers, who the fuck is going to tell them that that's not how COD should be? And they're just kind of like, well, this is pretty shit. It wasn't like this in MW 2019. Why is this here? And it's frustrating. It's frustrating. Knowing that there is no prestige system. Now, I'm aware seasonal prestiges will be added once Season 1 starts and Warzone 2 and DMZ drop, but there's nothing right now. Once you hit max level for now, we have to just wait. We have to wait. With that being said, there hasn't been the classic prestige system in a while, and I thought that was a really good system. Instead of it resetting every few months where a new season started, you had 10, 15 prestiges to grind through before the grind to level 1,000. It was a really fun thing to do, and it would take about a year to do. You could get earlier if you were fully gaming, but for the casual, you're never going to hit level 1,000 unless you're putting a ridiculous amount of hours into the game. And to be honest, that could be iterated upon and just have an unlimited level cap, or each season just add another 1,000 levels for those true grinders, you know? Have an updated level cap every season instead of resetting it, because I think it really shows how much this gamer has gamed, you know? I like that. But where it resets every season, you're kind of like, oh yeah, everyone's level 100 now, everyone's level 200, you know? And it's that's just kind of an average thing. And then also this goes into another thing of content not being there. Maps are being removed due to copyright. We've had 3 maps for having allegations of copyright, not having the rights to be able to design a map themed around it, and it's means that we're getting less content due to this. Now again, it's a live service game. We will be drip fed content over this time. But for those that actually pay for Call of Duty, buy Call of Duty, what are you buying? Because Warzone is technically free. The supposed DMZ is going to be free. Single player, you play maybe once, a couple of times if you're going for achievements or trying to play on the harder difficulties. But the majority of that base money you put into COD is for the multiplayer. Now, yes, some people play the multiplayer to level up the weapons to then use in Warzone, but you play for the multiplayer. So to be given a lesser experience than previous games for the same amount, if not more money, is just kind of like frustrating. And this is stuff that will be remedied over the life cycle of MW2. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. But I hate how common this is becoming for games to be thrown to the public in a bare bones state. And by the time it comes around to the next release in the series, it's finally in a good state. Like, what the hell? But because the guys that have played it since the start have had to go through the waits and the issues, it just leaves a sour taste for everyone that's played it. And you're just kind of like, bruh, what the fuck is this? But I do like MW2. I really do. But man, I would love to have seen it come out in a more finished state. Peace.